Alright guys, let's go and discover what's really new in Photoshop 2025, and it's full of AI new features. So here for instance we have an image with cables and we want to remove these cables. So maybe not the best example in here, but you can get the point that if we want to remove cables or distractions, we can use that amazing tool in here. If you hover over your toolbar, you will find remove tool, which you can find under spot healing brush tool. Select remove tool, and if you can't find any of your tools, you can always click in here to add more tools. Edit toolbar, you can add them again, or you can reset your toolbars if you want by clicking restore defaults. Anyway, let's cancel that and let's remove these cables. Since we do have that tool selected, we can find that we have find distraction in here. They do have specifically cables and wires in here, so in that case we can click on that one. However, before we do that, let's discover other options in here as well. So here for instance we have mode on auto, which may use generative AI to fill what's behind these cables or replace these pixels, and this will be usually working for images above 1000 pixels, or you can always leave it on or off. I'm gonna leave it as it is for now on auto, and if you don't like the results you can always switch between these. And also we need to create a new layer from your layers panel on top of your image, and I'm gonna show you why we're gonna do that. It's basically a non-destructive technique. And also make sure you do have sample all layers selected to work for that tool. Then let's go back to find distractions, wires and cables. And instantly guys, you can see that we do have a clear sky with some power towers without cables, which is looking like Tesla towers right now, but you get the point. And also if you want to get these cables back again, you can disable that layer and you have them in here. Let's take another example for removing people as a distraction. We have a background, we can go ahead, find distraction, people, and it's detecting that guy in here, another one and another one. You can add also other persons, maybe this one, that two, and his friend. Okay, and let's keep these two. We can click on that tick. And just like that, they are gone. However, we didn't create that on a new layer. That's why we have a destructive technique in that case. We can't regain these people back again. Here's also another great AI feature, easily manipulate a photo like that inside Photoshop. So let me quickly undo one step back. That's my original size for the image, and that's actually my original image. I downloaded that one from Freeback. However, now I'm gonna use generative AI to add elements in here, maybe for an advertisement or something like that. So we can go ahead and select any of our selection tools, maybe lasso tool or so. Then you can go ahead and draw a selection, maybe in here. Then you can start typing on that layer, your background image, something maybe like a unicorn, if you're going maybe for a metaphor. So let's type that. Then we have it, and we have also some variations as well. That's our second one, much better as you can see, and that's also a third one in here. I like that one more, looks very vibrant if you will. And also if you don't like these results, you can go ahead again and select your layer and type that again. So here for instance I have my previous layer, which is also a unicorn. I do have other three options as well. That's a cartoonish one. I didn't like that one. I really liked that one in here, and we have that one as well. However, if we go to that newly created layer, actually that one is very cool as well. Another example, you can type something different like British phone booth or something like that, and you can put them in there. Maybe you have an idea about that. So if we select that one again, maybe that one in here or that one, and let's say we need to enhance our composition a bit or our aspect ratio, we can use another generative AI tool, which is crop tool in that case. And from here we can select Generative Expand. Then let's zoom out a bit and start expanding our canvas like so, maybe all the way to here. Even you can place your unicorn to be on maybe a third or something like that, left third of your image for some aesthetics, maybe like so, then you can execute that. So as you can see guys, that's very cool. We can zoom in a bit, check other variations like that one and that one as well. I like the first one better, very convincing. And as you can see guys, creating an image like that these days is so easy, very cool, and AI is doing the heavy lifting for us. Here's also another example for creating a generative fill. You can select your image, select any of your selection tool, maybe ellipse tool that time or so, elliptical marquee tool. Then you can draw a selection like that and type in here a lake or so. That's what I did in that layer. And to spare you time, let's enable that image, deselect that selection. That's what we got from Generative Fill. However, what's really weird is the first variation in here. I got sand, okay? And that was convincing, and that one is the most convincing one for me, as we have some nice reflections in here as well. Another cool feature is that if you have an image and you want to remove background or create a background, you can do that with one click. So let's hide that layer in here and let's disable that mask, which is our original image. I got that one from Freebec, AI generated image for a fat tiger who looks like a cat or so. And that's what happens when they start eating junk food or so. I like that one, so I selected that image in Photoshop and I found that button here to create a background. So let me do that again from start to see it in action. Here's a similar image created by AI from Freebec as well. That amazing website in here, in case you're wondering. And if you do have an image, you'll find that option in here to remove background. And this one, as you can see, is quite challenging for Photoshop. However, we do have that one as a mask in here, so we can select that mask, select brush tool, and start painting in white. So let's press X, enlarge our brush tool using our brackets, and start recovering that part again in our image, okay? Like so. Also for that part, we might use a harsh brush. So let's make it hard and start clicking like so. Once you're happy with your background removal, you can also create a background or generate one. Click in here. Let's type maybe blue background. Generate. Wow, very cool. We do have other options as well. I like the first one the most. And that's actually what I did in that image as well. After removing background using Photoshop, we can re-enable that mask. That's what we got. I asked it to do background for me with a sky, and it created that layer for me, where I can select different variations as well. And now, as you can see guys, it's all about AI in Photoshop. And speaking of AI, we do have that icon in here in Photoshop. That's the main version of Photoshop, not the beta. You can generate image in here as well, so you can click on that one. And let's type a unicorn, because like we do have a unicorn theme today in bubbles, okay? And also if you can't think of something to type, you can find prompt inspiration in here. So let's copy that first. If we select that image in here, you'll find the prompt as well. Or maybe the girl. You can start tweaking that you're liking. However, let's go back to our unicorn, pasting that again. And which content type? Is it going to be photo or art? Let's keep it as this photo. If you want to have a reference image for specific style, you can upload an image or you can select from the gallery in here. And also you can add effects. So by default we do have cinematic added. However, we can select from effects like fish eye for instance, or neon, or even we can select techniques. Basically like Firefly, if you will. Same options, the same interface. Adobe's website for generative images and art. That's Adobe Firefly, where you can access that one by typing firefly.adobe.com. And I think you need to have Adobe subscription plan as well. So here, for instance, I typed unicorn in bubbles, and you can pretty much see the same options in there. It's using model Firefly image 3 this time, which is doing good, as you can see. And apart from aspect ratio, because we do have the aspect ratio in Photoshop's document, we can find the same options as well, like art or photo, a reference for composition, style, as we said, neon or your own image. Then you can add effects and stuff like that. However, let's go back to Photoshop and see what we get in there. If we click generate, as I told you guys, we do have the aspect ratio in our document, so it's going to be generating that one in our document of that image in here. So we need to hide that fat tiger layer, and we do have some variations as well for different unicorns. That one is quite nice. However, you can see the differences between using that one in Photoshop or even in the browser, or even we do have that one in Photoshop beta as well, which should be coming to the main Photoshop version as well. So let's see Photoshop beta. That's when you create inside the beta version of Photoshop, which, by the way, you can download from Creative Cloud. You do have all apps beta, then you can find any beta application in here. So Photoshop will be first one probably. You can install that one. Anyway, let's go back to beta version of Photoshop. And as you can see, we have even better versions in there. That one looks really nice. We do have other cool variations as well. I told you guys it's gonna be a unicorn theme today. However, let's close that one for now. I'm not gonna even save it. Don't save. When you open the beta version of Photoshop, you'll find Generative Workspace, which should be available in Photoshop soon as well. If you click on that one, here you can type just like Adobe Firefly using Model 3 as well. However, what's really cool as well is that you can add variables, which we're gonna see in a second. So we can start maybe with inspiration. These are different art directions and styles. So maybe let's select that one in here. And once we select that one, we can see that we have that text prompt, transparent horse walking out of the ocean at sunset. And what's really cool is that you can see that it's art, digital art, thinsware. These are the styles that we have. We can edit them if we want. Starting with our prompt, let's type unicorns as usual. And for aspect ratio, we can make that one maybe landscape. We can click on art to remove that one. Digital art, we can click in here. If you want to remove synthwave, you can remove that from here, or digital art. Maybe you can select hyper realistic, and let's remove synthwave and digital art as well. Now let's experiment with the variables. So we can click add variables in here. You will find two brackets. However, let's remove them again and add them in that part. Actually, let's remove transparent. Now in that part, we can press spacebar, add variables. So this one will be 3, 4, 6. This means we might have an image of 3 unicorns, or 4, or 6. Then let's add generating 12, because each variable will be creating 4 images. So that will be 3 by 4, 12 images. And while it's doing that, you can start typing and experimenting with others. However, that was fast. And as you can see, guys, unicorns 3, we have 3 unicorns in these images except that one. And in 4, we can find 4 horses in there. These are not unicorns, man. Now we're talking. We have unicorns in here. And in our 6 variable, we can find that we have almost 6. Yeah, AI is bad at counting, you know. Here we have about 5. Yeah, that's like what we call AI adherence to text prompt. You can start doing that with different stuff. Instead of using numbers, you can start using colors. So let's see that one first. If you click on any image, you can see it enlarged. If you want to download that one or add to favorites, or even if you want to zoom in more, 100% maybe. This is our resolution for that image. So let's go back. Let's try another example with variables. Instead of that, let's remove them from here. Clicking at the end, let's make the time as a variable. So let's add a bracket, that kind of bracket actually, comma space, night time. Okay, let's keep it 2 variables only. Once you close the bracket, it's gonna be added automatically. Instead of clicking in here, you can click generate. By the way, guys, we are using fast mode to generate them quickly. This could be very handy if you're looking for a quick art direction and certain style. And once you find that style, you can disable fast mode and start creating in a slow mode, which will give you better details. Anyway, let's go ahead and generate, because we have 2 variables. That's gonna be 8 images. So here you see it, we have sunset time and night time. Actually, let's click on that one, very cool one in here. Tons of AI tools in Photoshop right now. It's really recommended to go ahead and start experimenting with these tools and make that habit of using AI tools. That's how you're gonna be always on top of your game. Hope you enjoyed that one, guys. That was Khalil Ibrahim with you. Stay creative, and I'll be seeing you in next one.